I have been riding Prairie exclusively in the little round pen in that tiny space. And this week I decided to get him out of there and just walk him around in the big arena so we could do some figure eights and do something different. The same old stuff gets kind of boring. I think I'm starting to get through to him a little bit. He's very slow and methodical and thoughtful, but he is paying a lot of attention. He's trying to get it right. So the exercise here is trying to do a circle to the left around the far bucket, and then do a figure eight and come around and do a circle to the right around the nearest bucket. And he's being kind of slow, as you can see, thinking it through, but he does bend nicely. So yeah, I think I'm getting through to him a little bit. So this is all good stuff. Here I'm just trying to ride him in circles and trying to get him to listen to my seat to tell him what to do. Now I remember last year around this time, I was riding Samba just in rather large circles, trying to steer her with my belly button, and she just suddenly got it. But I don't think it's going to be that way with Prairie. I think I'm going to have to start riding him step by step the way you describe in your book to develop a circle, where you start with the square, you move to an octagonal, and you add more sides until he does a circle. So now I'm making some interesting observations about the way I ride and how he reacts to me. I also notice that I tend to pull on the inside rein a lot to get his head pointed in the direction I want. And I know that's not good. It's actually more effective when I let up on the inside rein and let the outside rein steer him. I know that's so glaringly elementary to you, but for some reason that's not the way I ride him, and that's the way I should ride him. This is actually a very nice change that he makes here. It's kind of in slow motion, but he's really thinking his way through it. He's half-halting himself. He begins with a move out on one end and ends with another move out in the opposite direction. Right now, I'm not steering him with 100% accuracy. And I want it to be like automatic, that he goes where I want. And I'm hoping that the more he feels that, he'll start to understand that this is what he should be looking for all the time from me. Just feel my seat and it'll tell you where to go. So here we're going to do a little bit of that square where we do turn in on the corners, we do move out in between, lots of stopping. This is not the best square that we've ever done. He's being kind of sloppy. He's not doing a good move out. He's kind of faking it a little bit. He's not stopping crisply. There we do a turn in. Okay, he stopped there. I'm asking him for move out, and he's thinking it over. So he is doing a move out there. Going to stop him again. Do a turn in to bring him back toward the bucket. Stop him again. I like the way he seems to be getting rounder. He's reaching down more. And I don't know if that's just him dumping on his forehand or if he's really stretching. And maybe as I continue to ride him out here in the big arena, he'll start to build up a little bit more energy and forwardness and just kind of flow from one bucket to the next. I know he can do it because he did it when Dave was walking alongside of him there for a while this summer. And we stopped doing it because Prairie didn't seem to want to anymore. He can do it, but he's not sure that he's supposed to do it. Right now he's very hesitant and careful. I suppose at one time in his young life he was just as forward as Samba is, and I kind of dulled that with my own tentativeness and fear of him. I've heard it said that everybody ruins their first horse. Maybe that's what I've done to him. But I hope that as I become a better trainer and rider, he'll become a better riding horse. It's the following day, and I'm pretty much working on the same thing. Making circles, trying to guide him using my belly button and my seat to tell him where to go, not so much the reins. Now here's a quick look at what my seat is looking like with these longer stirrup leathers. I think that's pretty good, although my toes are still turning out. I still need to get my hands up by my belly button, but I find that very hard to do somehow. I have just a touching kind of contact here. It never works for me when I try to have a heavy contact. Somehow I always seem to interpret heavy as harsh. And here I'm doing a little turn-in with him so that we can make a change of direction with the yin-yang symbol here. And I see he's faking me out with the fake move out again. Stopped him there. He's very responsive just to my voice command. And we do a step of turn in here. That was good. I ask him to go. He does a little move out when I tell him to just walk on, which is fine. I don't mind that at all. We do a few changes of bend here. And as I rode, I kind of noticed that if I sat up straighter and kind of got my shoulder blades a little closer together, he seemed to do a lot better. In these last few circles, he's really bendy and attentive. Here I stopped him again. Look at this nice square stop, by the way. Now he's looking around like he always does. I ask him to put his head down. He's being very sweet. And I ask him to go. And he goes with his head down. He doesn't poke his nose out. This is an illustration of just what you were talking about in our last lesson. He's learning how to step forward by rebalancing his weight. He actually rocked back and took a backward step first. Right there, that was huge. He went forward without poking his nose out. That was amazing. So he's getting very round here. He's really bending. I'm in this posture where I'm a little behind the vertical. And I stop him there again. He stops very obediently. I ask him to put his head down. I keep asking for more. Now once I started doing this with Samba, I would just get off. And so she started keeping her head down a lot more. So I'm going to try that with him. So in our last lesson, you told me to work on getting him going at a 45-degree angle around his natural circle and really get him bending around me. So that's what I'm trying to work on here. We've been doing this kind of thing now for years, literally years, without a whole lot of effect because I don't know what I'm trying to get him to do. And if I don't know, how the heck is he supposed to know? This is kind of the fallacy of trying to do riding lessons like this. I mean, how do you teach a student to do something if they don't know what the end state is? refer me to a video or something, and let's stop wasting time. I really don't know what I'm supposed to do here. From the saddle, I'm working on giving him move out and turn in as needed to try to create a circle and get him bent in the proper direction. Now you can see as I come down this line, I've got my left shoulder back, and now I swivel a little bit to turn in the other direction and bring back my right shoulder, and he really follows that. He did very well at following where my belly button was pointing. And here I started to stop him. I raised my hand a little bit, and he kind of hesitates and says, "Oh, I see, we're changing bend." So it wasn't a proper half halt, but he kind of understood it that way, and he noticed I was telling him to do something else. And you'll notice I'm not having the problems with him going left where he twirls. The big boink really helped there. One big authoritative correction fixed a problem I've had for months. I'm giving him more to think about with shorter pauses in between. I'm not pulling him around with the reins, at least I'm trying not to. Here I'm going to try to stop him with my seat. Oh, that was good. He didn't throw his head up. So he does a good job here, and I'm going to ask him to lower his head before I get off. I'm going to end the lesson with him putting his head down, and before long he's going to realize that that is a huge, huge reward. So he'll start putting his head down all the time.